Hello and welcome. Apologies because today's episode is a late night recording, so I have to keep things down because everybody is asleep and I don't want the kids waking up or wifey waking up and wondering why is this guy talking to himself at midnight. Okay, so today what we're going to look at on the podcast is why you are not selling a product, but rather you are selling your expertise. I repeat, there are lots of you who sell stuff. You sell a product, you sell a service, you sell keyboards, you sell, I don't know, rice, you sell fashion, you sell whatever it is you sell, Sha. There are too many of you who are out there thinking you sell a product or you sell a service, but you don't realize that what you're selling actually is your expertise. And the reason why is this. If you've been listening to the show for for the last maybe like 2-3 weeks, you already know about the conversations that I've been having with Cinderella. That's not her real name, but she is a salesperson. Okay, Cinderella is not her real name, but this is a real person. She's a salesperson for a company based in Lagos that right now I'm calling Lincoln Park Solar. Again, that's not the company's real name. So Cinderella sells solar systems and inverters and batteries and protection panels and those sorts of things. It's a technical sale. Now the thing we're trying to work through currently is this. Cinderella feels like she's hamstrung when it comes to price. Because any small thing, people will say you're too expensive, you're double the quote that I received from the last guy, wanting. So she's stuck on this price thing. And I'm currently trying to get her to move past it. Because now that she's stuck on this price thing, what she's been doing is, if somebody says, oh, come on, you're too expensive, she tries to get the alternative quote, and then she takes the quote back to her Oga to say, Oga, how far? Let's say we can match this thing. I don't want to lose this client. Now, that's not a bad approach, actually, to try and find the alternative quote or find whatever it is that people are comparing you to, so that if you sell on behalf of someone else, you can go back and tell your boss, your madam, say, madam, now so we say, can we meet this price so that I don't lose this customer? It's not a bad thing to do. Not bad. However, excuse me, there is a proper thing to do, or rather, there is something that is much more fitting to do in this case. Now, Cinderella is already doing step one. Somebody says you're too expensive. She pushes back. She tries to compare. She tries to request for the other quote so that she can make a comparison. So that part, Cinderella is doing very well. And if you're listening to the podcast for the first time, you haven't been doing that. This is what you should do now. If somebody says you're too expensive, you say, really? Somebody gave you a cheaper quote. I say, yes, now. Chukudi said he would give it to me at 2005 per square meter. You say, 2005 per square meter? And the person will talk some more. But the thing is, you push back, you ask a couple of questions, and then, excuse me, you're going to be able to figure out a few things. What exactly are they comparing me to? Now, the next step is when you figure out what they are comparing you to, or who they are comparing your product or service to, you distinguish or educate. Distinguish just means show why we are different. So, if somebody says, Chukudi says he will give it to me at 2.5 per square meter, you are offering it to me at 5,000 per square meter, you ask a couple of questions, and then you distinguish. You say, madam, that is why now Chukudi is offering you Korea cable. We were offering you Singapore cable. Singapore is of a higher quality because Korea is copper, Singapore is black. You educate the person. Distinguish. This is why we're different. Then you educate. This is why we're better. So that's the next step. And please, for those of you who sell on behalf of someone else, you do all of this before you go back to your Oga to say, can we match this price? So first, push back, get some more information, ask questions, request the other quote if you can, and then compare. What are they comparing me to? Who are they comparing me to? When you figure out, distinguish. Why are we different? Educate. Why are we better? Now, for someone like Cinderella, who is in the business, remember, not her real name, for someone like Cinderella, who is in the business of selling inverters, batteries, solar panels, protection guard, one thing, all these things. Distinguishing and educating means eventually you get down to the conversation about brand. Oh, is it this particular brand they are giving you? We are giving you this brand because blah 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 blah. These are the specifications where the guy don't give you. Madam, the specs that we are giving you is one thing, so and so. So okay, madam, this cost they get as a bill. Is he buying from the original equipment manufacturer? Of course, you want to ask you why. You say, because we get from the OEM. We get them direct from Belgium, direct from Germany, direct from USA. Because of that, we are giving warranty of blah blah blah, or we are giving guarantee of blah blah blah, or because we are buying directly from the original equipment manufacturer, we are offering this kind of after sale service, that kind of after sale service. For those of you who sell on behalf of someone else, you do all of this before you go back to your Oga to say, Oga, can we match the price? And by the way, even for those of you who, you're self-employed, so you sell for yourself, the process is the same. Now, the more we spoke about these things with Cinderella, the more I spoke with her, rather, excuse me, I realized that it was a symptom. It was a symptom of a larger problem. In Cinderella's mind, in her mind, because she has sold before and she has sold in the technical space. Because of that, I assumed that she knows what's up on a couple of things. But actually, there are a few things she needs to learn. She assumes that because she's been in the technical sale before, because she's a very bright young lady, is it civil engineering, a be mechanical engineering, technical, blah blah blah. Now, as in master's educated, schooled abroad, as in correct babe, correct chick. She thinks she is in the business of selling equipment. In the last place that she worked, she was selling technical equipment. This current place where she is working, she is selling solar equipment. Now the problem be that she thinks she is selling equipment. She doesn't realize the reality is, or the reality should be, she is selling her expertise, her experience, her level of education, her level of sophistication. That is what she should be selling. Because today, we're in a period of hyper competition. It is something my client complained about. Because of the internet now, anybody can go and do research on YouTube about solar panels. Because of access to the markets now, you can buy direct from China, whatever. Anybody has access to buy equipment. So the internet has made it easy for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to be in the solar business. Sit down on YouTube today. Give yourself 3 weeks. You can educate yourself on solar well. If you have money, you can start buying your products direct from Singapore, Germany, China, wherever you will buy it. Anybody can be a roadside installer now. The competition is fierce. Because the competition is fierce, if you think that you are selling equipment, you are putting yourself up for a very big fight. Because at the end of the day, the customer cannot tell the difference between the equipment that you have and the equipment that the other person has. The distinguishing factor in this case has to be you, because you are the subject matter expert. You are the one who knows what's up, and you should position yourself accordingly. The reason why somebody should go with you is because when they talk to you, it is clear that you are the expert. You are the professional. The other person is a roadside installer, or the other person is a jambite. The other person is a neophyte. The other person is new in this space. You are the one who has the chops. So, if you are in the position of Cinderella, doesn't matter whatever it is you sell, you are not selling equipment. You are selling your expertise. You are selling your experience. You're selling your education. You are selling your certifications. You are selling your every. Because competition day now in the market, anybody that you approach will put you under severe price pressure. From the beginning, they price you down, immediate. And if you get involved in that game, it is a losing game. Hear me well. It is a losing game. Me and Cinderella, we were quarreling. She was saying price. And I told her that, look, this particular client, you say price. You started at 5.5. You dropped the price to 4.5. Now you've dropped the price to 3.9. If price was the issue, this guy for don't buy since. Of course, Cinderella didn't get it. But you that are listening, I hope you get it. You say price is the main thing, no problem. If price is the main thing, we started at 5.5 million. You dropped the price to 4.5. That means you have removed what? 1 mil. If price was the issue, you don't think the guy would have moved? Then you now move from 4.5 to 3.9. What is the gap between 5.5 and 3.9? No be 2 MB that. It's not up to like 2 million. If price was the thing, that guy would have moved since. Clearly, he is not buying because it is not just the price at play. Those of you who are listening now and you like to be stubborn, any small thing, price. Look, believe me, price is not the only factor. I was begging Cinderella. She's not getting it. And I'll continue. But I'm begging you, and I hope you get it. When people put you under pressure for the price, when they go down on price, no, you go up on your expertise. Do you hear me? When they try to push you down on price, you go up on your expertise. If you follow them and play this game, they'll price you down. They'll price you anyhow. This thing that I'm telling you is real life. This conversation I'm happening to see, I'm making this podcast recording now, midnight. This conversation that I had, the thing has been burning on my chest since like 10 in the morning. I say Cinderella went from 5.5 to 4.5 to 3.9 million. That guy didn't buy. When they push you down on price, I beg, go up on your experience. Because you are the expert. And by the way, if you're not the expert, don't worry. Everybody comes in new at some point. You have a couple of things to learn, but you will get there. So, when people begin to price you anyhow, push back, ask some questions. You're too expensive. Yeah, actually, we are more expensive than other people in the market, but I hope you don't mind me asking. When you say we're too expensive, compared to who? Or compared to what? Oh yeah, I get it. Lots of people tell us that we're too expensive. And that's because other suppliers usually cut corners when it comes to quality and specs and things like that. I hope you don't mind. Can I have a look at the quote that you have? You don't have to do business with us, but I just want to make sure that, because madam, you're my person, I like you. I just want to make sure that you don't go and buy something that will just cause you to hook. So let me just read this quote. We'll just compare it, spec by spec, and I will give you my own opinion, but no be by force. Madam, you don't have to buy from. In fact, madam, don't worry. I withdraw my quote. Don't worry. This one now, is just a favor, madam, just because I like you. Let me just look at the quote and let's just talk things through. That's the level. Yet, that quote, request that quote, look at that quote. When you see it, begin to distinguish and start educating. This is why it is different. This is why it is cheaper. This is why it is more expensive. This is why it is better. This is why it is this. This is why it is that. By the way, this is why you have to be the subject matter expert. Because someone like me now, I'm not an expert in solar. So if you give me the two quotes, one quote on the left, one quote on the right, what do I know? I can't do anything. But you, that you're the expert, you'll be able to look at the quote and say, mommy, this person is trying to trap you. You see this line item here? This is where they're trapping you. And in the meeting that Cinderella and I had with our Oga, is the very first thing the Oga said. The Oga said, which kind of panel be this? 750 watt? Okay. Let's look at the accessories cut. And the guy said, no, this thing is not pure. I said, how do you know it's not pure? He said, because even if you're going to use just normal fabrication on the roof, at the very least you should be spending blah 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 blah. This. The guy just do small mathematics and say this thing is not correct. That based on the size of this panel, you should be using this kind of rack. We can't see this rack in the quote, so that means this guy just wants to go and do local fabrication to put this thing up on the roof. This is the reason why you have to be the subject matter expert. So that when you're having this conversation with the madam and they're saying go down on price, you go up on your expertise. You show them your expertise. Just by looking at this thing, you say, madam, this is the trap that they want to set for you. This panel that they want to put on your roof, they want to go and do local fabrication. What you need, madam, is a blah 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 frame. You say, what's the difference? You will now educate her. When they push you down on price, go up on your expertise. I beg all of you. Hear me well. And save yourself all the heartbreak. The last thing I just want to say is, please hear me. I beg, hear me. If you don't hear anything else, hear me on this one. No matter what you sell, consulting service, podcast production, Bluetooth keyboard, Tesla Cybertruck, engineering, solar panels, what else? Whatever it is you sell. Times have changed. The product is not the distinguishing factor again. You are the distinguishing factor. Do you hear me? The product is not the distinguishing factor again. You are the distinguishing factor. Before, you could form as if the product is the main thing. You say, I got this one direct from USA. Nowadays, everybody is buying from the USA. Now what? You are the distinguishing factor. Before, you could say, this thing I'm buying, I buy them direct Belgium. But guess what? Nowadays, everybody is buying direct Belgium. Now what? You are the distinguishing factor. Even this thing of buying from the original equipment manufacturer, like I said, you think you're the only one who is buying from the original equipment manufacturer. Other people are buying from the original equipment manufacturer as well. The distinguishing factor has to be you, the salesperson. Some of you say, bros, not they vex. Yes, I'm vexing. Seriously. Too many of you are cheating yourselves out of profits. Cheating yourselves out of career advancement. Cheating yourselves out of, simple self-respect, self-regard, self-esteem. No, they follow all these customers, play all these price games. You hear me? No, they follow them, play all these price games. At all. Know your worth. You are the distinguishing factor. You are not selling a product. You are selling your expertise, your experience, your education. That's what you're selling. So that's all for today. If you'd love to connect with me, call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. Yeah, so that I'm out. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.